Hey lovelies, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you want to see how I made this dress, please stay tuned and watch till the end of this video. So starting off, my fabric is already folded into four, and to get this fold, all you just have to do is measure half of your shoulder plus the length of sleeve you want to use. So for instance, if your shoulder is 16 divided by 2, that will give you 8 inches plus the length of sleeve you are using. So that's how you get your fabric. Now I'm just adding my neck width measurement, and I'm using 1 inch as the neck depth because it's the same for the front and the back. Later on we'll go and we'll separate the two fabrics, so I'm just using my neck depth for the back. So I will be coming down at my shoulder slope by 1.5 inches. You can use one, whichever works for you, both is fine. So you connect that to your shoulder measurement. After that, I'll be coming down from my shoulder slope by 9 inches plus 1 inch sewing allowance. That will give me 10. But mind you, this is a smaller size. So after that, I'll go back to my neckline and I'll measure out my shoulder to my front length, which is your shoulder to your waistline. From there, you rule a straight line so you can be able to connect to the armhole curve, just as you see in the video. So from that front length line, you are going to measure out the largest part of your body divided by 4 and mark that, then add 2-inch allowance for ease. This bubu is not really big, so that's why I'm adding 2 inches. You are going to mark that same measurement down to the length of the gown and rule a straight line. You can use as much as 6 inches to add to the length of your gown, depending on how bogus you want it to be, but mine is not that big. If you don't want your bubu to be so obvious or bogus, 2.5 inch of allowance is enough, and you later sew away 1 inch allowance. So 2.5 inches allowance will be added after dividing the largest part of your body by 4. Which in some cases, some people's busts are larger, some people's hip are larger, just like that. So you go ahead to separate your front and back fabric so we can be able to cut out the front neckline. So for the front neckline, you can either use 10 inches or you get your chest line measurements, then add 3 inches to that and mark. So from there, I'm going to go in by 2 inches and I'll mark that 2 inches straight down. The reason why I'm using 2 inches is because my band is about 2.5 inches wide, which is opening up will give you 5 inches. So if I'm marking out 2 inches here, automatically when I open up my fabric, is going to give me about 4 inches, and I'm going to sew half an inch away. So that will make up for the 5 inches. So after that, you will notch the place where you came down by 10 inches, just so you know where to begin. So notch that part. So you would open up your fabric and join the front and back shoulders together with half an inch. After joining with half an inch, if you want to fold in your sleeve, maybe you added 2-inch allowance for folding in your sleeve, just go ahead to fold that in before joining the sides. So for me, I'm adding a plain fabric. That is why I did not add anything to fold in my sleeve. After that, you sew the sides with 1 inch down to the length of the gown. So I'm just going ahead to cut out my pockets. If you want to know where to start your pocket from, it's usually your waistline, where your waist is beginning from. That's where you start your pockets. So after that, I cut out a long strip of fabric. I cut out 6 inches. Remember, I said my band was 5 inches wide, and I'm going to sew half an inch on both sides. So that is why I made mine 6 inches. So you get the midpoint of your back neck, and you are going to measure what you have from there to the front part where you notched. After that, you are going to fold your strip of fabric into two, and whatever you have from your back neck to the front neck where you notched, you are going to mark that from the folded part of your band, and you get the midpoint of that exact place and you match that straight line down. So just look at what I'm describing in the video. So after that, you take it to your ironing table and you open everything up and iron. So you will notch the middle of your band and you will notch the middle of your back neckline, and just sew from like middle to end, middle to end.